Hey, what's going on YouTube? This is Amani from Team Frieza. How you doing? Today I thought I would bring a very special video. A lot of the deck profiles that you've seen me do, a lot of the decks that you've seen me play live or on footage on the camera are built in very special ways. And today I'm here to explain that to you, how Amani builds his deck, using my friend Frieza here and my blue-yellow deck as an example. I'm going to try to give you as much insight as I can about the complicated mysteries of my mind as I choose my deck choices. Now, keep in mind that my card choices are based on some very, very complicated descriptions that may not make sense until you just do it. So I'm going to try to keep it as simple as possible. Alright? Basically, when I'm building decks, I'll go in steps. First and most importantly is I'll try and analyze the meta. The decks that I think are currently on top, that I think I'm going to have the most likelihood of running into. For this particular deck build, I chose Vegeta as one, Champa, and then Frieza. More specifically, this Frieza. And so once I do that, I'll go into the second step, which is then I'll choose the play style I want to do. Obviously, I can play aggressively using an aggro deck, short bursts of early game damage and look for a combo finish, or I can play a control matchup that focuses on setting up early in the game and then trying to push through with large guys that take control of the board. In this particular case, I put a lot of priority on aggressive plays with just enough control in the late game to be able to make strong pushes without having to rush in too hard. Alright, so for the sake of the camera, we're going to call this deck a control deck, because it primarily focuses on setting up, making favorable trades, and pushing in the late game for the strongest amount of value. So now that we've gotten those out of the way, I need to choose which color or colors, in most of my cases, offer me the most opportunity to stand against the meta that we're playing in by using that playstyle as a guideline. So for here, I chose blue because I think that when playing Frieza, obviously I'm going to use yellow for this one because I need Frieza's army characters. Yellow offers me a good solid control, and it gives me the ability to punish overextension while utilizing this Frieza to its fullest. I chose blue to complement the yellow because I think that blue gives Frieza what he's lacking. That will be the ability to awaken, the ability to play pressure on the prizes, and the ability to finish with a strong late game. I don't think yellow has a very strong late game. It doesn't even have 5 drops. Now, we'll go into the core of the deck. Of course, I set the ratio to be 34 yellow and 16 blue. 35 and 15 was the idea. So I have 35 yellow and 15 blue. Then, because I was originally a Naruto player, I will push it by drops and just take the best of what the drops have to offer me in each respective energy slot. So started with 1, I chose blue out of the blue because I feel like blue is a very simple replacement effect. You draw a card when you put him in play. He's a solid 5k boost. He only costs 1 mana. I only play 3 because I'd rather not start with the blue. It's yellow-blue, not blue-yellow. And really the solid core of the deck focuses around opening with this card, Division Frieza, that I now play 4 of. And the idea is start with the Frieza or start with the Frieza's Call. Use the ability to pull any of the Frieza's army to replace itself in the hand. Sacrifice it with this Frieza's ability. Draw a card, and then hopefully drop a second one. It filters out a lot of the deck early game and gives me the ability to play, charge, and summon without losing hand advantage. That's very important in control decks, not to lose your advantage, either on hand or on board. When I start trading hand for board or board for hand, I'm slowing down. I put 4 Goldos in because they're blockers. They're targets for Frieza's army. They're solid controls. And 4 Sorbets for the same reason. Gotta be able to survive to the late game and control matchup. And most importantly, you have to be able to block Vegeta's criticals early. So I have 8 blockers in my ones. And then I played, lastly in the 1 drop, 4 Crusher Balls. Crusher Ball becomes very, very powerful throughout the mid and late game when the big high mana costs come down to try to finish you. And it also combos well towards the late game so you can punish overextension by getting a guy who costed all the mana into rest mode so you can kill it later with your Mega Freezes. Those are all my ones. I got those out of the way. I feel like this is a solid number of ones. It was like 23. Boom. In my twos, because I'm trying to pressure Vegeta, particularly early in the game, I'm playing both Sui and Apul in 4s. 15Ks are able to push for damage every single turn of the game no matter what. No leader goes past 15K under normal circumstance. They're able to deal damage. So it constantly keeps pressure on Vegeta matchups. That's why I play them this early. But also, they're targets for all of Frieza's cards, including the leader. So that works out in 2 different fashions. And they only cost 1 yellow. So it's easy to play them in mixes. Duh. I
4 or you're bad.
Picked for the 10K boost that matches the color of my leader. Yellow is Dodoria. And then we went straight into the 3-drops. The only 3-drop I chose here, going into the mid-game transition, was Vegeta. This specific Vegeta because this is now where you have to be able to pressure the control matchups by denying them the hand advantage. And I think that this is probably the best 3-drop that I can play since yellow doesn't have any great 3-drops. So I put 4 of those in there, and that's the only 3-drop I chose. It also only costs 1 blue, so it's a very easy card to mix. Then we went to the late game. I'm very careful about how many late game characters I play because of this. I hate having too many costing boosts in my deck. So this is like a pile of like 30 cards, 35, even 40, counting 3, 6, 9, 11. So this is 39 cards. I'm very, very serious about not having my hand full of 10K boosts and not having the mana to do it. Even with Frieza's mana recursion effect, it still costs more than I like to put out when it's necessary. So this is obviously for aggro, this is obviously for control. Both of them are capable of potentially killing your opponent, pushing final, but this is specifically for the control matchups when I'm trying to poke and deny hand advantage. This one is more so for punishing overextension. Then in the 5-drops, I went to blue for this very specific reason. I give a 2 result of training to deny the ability to stop me from awakening so I can generate the necessary advantage to finish through the game and restore my hand advantage when I'm getting low. A lot of Frieza players lose out because they just can't keep their hand strong enough. And then I picked Triple God Charge Vegeta at the end to put the final push in. I'm really, really focused on the critical half to go aggressive in this deck because I needed to deny the hand advantage. I hate pushing in and knocking 4 or 5 cards back into my opponent's hand. I feel like that just makes my late game harder. And it's not a lot of late game. So I want to make it every little bit count. 25K, dual attack crit, really, really deals damage late in the game. You almost have to do something about it. So using the Frieza deck for an example, basically, number 1, analyze the meta. Number 2, choose your playstyle. Number 3, decide what colors offer you the best options to follow your playstyle and combat the meta. Number 4, design your core. Remember the core in here was centered around the Frieza's army, the strongest opening I can get with the Avenging Frieza, a lot of Frieza's army 1 and 2 drops to utilize my Frieza's ability so I can set up into late game. And then finally, finish out with the complement cards. That would be my blue cards that finish up by filling in the slots that my yellow cards lack. And there you have it.